Today is the 19th of June, and I'm going to read Homesick, which I wrote on 19th of May 2024. So exactly a month ago. I feel double whatever this feeling is. You know, when you've lived somewhere all your life, made friends who became family, where you found yourself and maybe even lost yourself. That small community you found yourself in at school or work, spaces where you fit. Yes, you know that feeling too, don't you? Then one day you decide there has to be more to this story you held so dear. The only narrative you had or still have of yourself since whenever it was you found yourself. So you move to a new town, a new city, a new country, and there you start afresh. You live in your new home, and first you see this place from the perspective of a tourist. You hit all the best sites, learn the transportation system, try the local food, go to a cultural day or two. Then soon you'll make friends and start to live like the indigenous people who were born and raised there. You grow your family, you grow your friend network, find a new wavelength for your life that has completely different vibrations from your last life. And suddenly, it starts to feel like home. Not the old home, a new home that only you understand and appreciate because it's been created by the new version of you. A free and identified version that the new community know and love. The version you always wanted to be before you left home, but couldn't be. You have too much history there. That's where I start off today. Welcome to the story of the small town girl. Me. I lived away from home. I lived away from my hometown for years. Now that I've moved back, roads, apartments, malls, and smells are familiar, but so very unfamiliar. And it has to be the hardest thing to adjust to. Circumstances brought me back. Now I choose this space every day and consciously try to make it feel like home again. It took me a couple of weeks to give my resignation from a job I loved, children I loved, and a new role that I'd only been in for less than a year. This role was perfect for my personality and would put my skills learned on the job to greater good. I was finally feeling like I was making an impact in the classroom, teaching my classes, and out of the classroom, meetings that bring the changes, having talks that affect the trajectory of the school year and each child individually. That part of the journey was something I was getting used to when everything changed. So I gave my resignation and started the transition back home from the old one I had built for myself and from the community that took me in out there. I took my last trip to the market, take that last walk to work, ate my last meal in my house, showed my dog the spices the spices one more time, and later he sat in my lap and dozed off one last time. I put my feet in the freezing river one last time and comforted Dogivi because of the loud thunder one more time. I chase him around the compound one last time for the bath he hates one last time. Taught that lesson one last time. Visited that friend one last time. I look at Mount Kenya from my living room window one more time and sit on the freshly cut grass one last time. I sat at my lovely table and painted one last time, sitting where 12 paintings were born one last time. I eat the food I didn't really like because it was good for me one last time. I played tag with the kids one more time, then pretended to be upset one more time because they didn't catch me one more time. My flabber was gusted one last time because of her audacity one last time. I drank my last cup of warm cow milk one more time and tell the kids that story one more time. We cross the road with Dogidi one last time. Then we went and bought his favorite omena one last time. I drew on my chalkboard one last time and read them that storybook on the fluffy carpet one more time. I eat that bundu brownie one last time, order that meal one last time. I fluff T's cushion one last time and scold him for stealing that shoe in the early morning one last time. I make that call one more time, knowing that we'll see each other soon one last time. I say hello to the neighbor through our fence one last time as I held her baby one more time. He splashes water on my face one last time and barks in the early morning one last time. Then we smell the geranium leaves as we walk home one last time. We sat at the fireplace warming up one last time. I took that game drive to a friend's house one last time and eat a marshmallow at the fire pit one last time. I took that boda boda lesson one last time and said hello to the lady who sells fresh milk one last time. And I walked that stretch of road one last time. Then I waved goodbye to the man who always walks with a cane one last time, as he tells me yet another story from the neighborhood one last time. I got dressed up and went to those parties in the forest one last time and picked those berries one more time. I said hello to the Nyumba Kumi leader one last time as I hear the neighbors' chickens clucking one last time. I pay my rent one last time, hosted friends one last time, brewed my freshly roasted and ground coffee beans one more time. I went for swimming one more time, took my trusted dog to the river one last time. And later I transported him to a new family. That too would be the last time. That too would be the last time we spent that much time together. So much beauty was birthed here. For the first time, so much beauty was birthed here for the first time. So much comes with me forever. Yet in all these emotions, so much stays here, my heart included. That part lingers a little longer. I sort all the belongings I have into separate piles. I start to label the piles as they sit in my spare room. I kept what I could and sold whatever I could afford to part with. My heart broke as the realization of this dawns on me. The boxes start to fill up and take the space on my grey and white carpet marked not for sale. They fill up the empty spaces, so I moved them to the living room and taped them one by one. I label every last one with the home they will now go to and make note of its contents at the top one last time. My living room looks messier and messier, yet the other rooms look emptier and emptier as D-Day draws near. I make a flyer and settle on a price for everything, all a fraction of the price I bought them at. That part breaks my heart because of the value they hold in my heart. I download the flyer and I send it to a friend, 2 friends, and then 3. I still remember the day when my first item got sold and picked up. I still remember the day my first item got sold and picked up. That night, I grieved the life I was leaving behind and the different things that made a house a home. Leaving the safety of my home, each one took a piece of me with it. I remember the day each item was added to my home and grew attached not to just one thing, but everything as a whole, because I handpicked them for my space, my home. Now they would find new homes. I decided which paintings I'm going to gift because their home is here, and carry the rest to a home they'd never met. Those ones were created here, in N. This is actually happening. I remember sealing the last box and placing it in the trunk of the car one last time. I'm back home now, and everything feels different. This isn't the place I knew so well. My first feeling is I don't belong, and I want to run back to what was familiar. It seems like we outgrew each other. Yet this is my home, right? No one understands why it doesn't feel like home anymore, because they weren't there in your transition years. They only knew the old version of you. I'm homesick for anywhere but here. Yet the people who are my home are here. I'm homesick for me, the version before everything changed. Yet those were my best years, so I'm homesick for them too. This is the season where my old life and new life merge into one. I'm homesick for a home I haven't even made yet, but I know is coming. I'm homesick for the small town girl. I'm homesick for home. I took almost a month to publish on this piece because it holds so much emotion for me. Having grown up in Nairobi and then moved to a whole other county and then came back, it was so hard for me to transition back to Nairobi. Still is so hard in many, many ways. But this is home now. So I hope it starts to feel like it at some point, or some version of it. But yes, it's been really hard being back here. The sounds are different. If I was sitting in Nanyuki, this would be complete silence. I'm actually at a hotel. Just had my lunch, but this is my new home. I'm trying to make it into my new home.